borrow a little bit from my organized introduction. I hope that's okay. Ambient Noise is a spoken word poetry collection that draws on my experiences as a factory worker during my semester breaks in 2008 and 2009. Tonight I want to do 7 pieces from the collection. I was working on the shop floor of a nitrogen gas spring plant in Plymouth, Michigan, and we were building these little pieces that you would find in like the elbow of a robot or in these presses. So essentially we were building parts for other factories. And as one of the few people in the shop who was younger than 30 and had gone to college and knew that my time in the factory was going to be very brief, I was in a unique position in that at the beginning, people really didn't like me all that much. I was the college boy, the dude who didn't know how to build things, how to find pieces in the storeroom, and most meaningfully to me, how to have conversations with my coworkers. So I didn't really talk much during my time there. But this place was fascinating to me, and now my time with the workers in that factory has become very important to me. These amazing people had their own social hierarchy, their own rules, these ideas about the relationships with the boss, the office workers, the robots. Most importantly, the people in this factory had their own seemingly simple but truly powerful and compelling stories. They were human beings who were distinct and stressed out and strong in ways that I had never experienced before. With this project, what I wanted to do was create the voice that I didn't have while I was working at the factory. I wanted to be able to put together the language and the kind of thinking that I wish I had been able to access and exercise while working. My collection follows the narrative of a young man called a college boy on a typical day in the factory. And he begins the collection of poems, monologues, conversations with a sort of frustration that he seems to have lost his ability to communicate somewhere in the ambient noise. There are times when this gets to be too much. The calico clustering of sounds all in argument with one another. They cross, tangle, and weave, batter rhythms and patterns against one another. Noises smother each other. Each hiss feels it has more to say than any buzz could tell. Each click prefers its diction to any swooshes swell. And I can't comprehend the language that is trying to move the gears. It's just some formulaic panic that is ringing in my ears. The closest clock tucked out of sight, but I'm keeping track of time to the tapping and the snapping and these ugly crap end rhymes. My unfettered flowing free verse swiftly drains out from my head, and I lose the words from all the books and poems I have read, and soon all I hear are numbers, and I cannot do the math. I try to say familiar voices, throw my hand to Sylvia Plath, but she becomes a barrier, just a rattle undertones, and she has left me for her oven, leaves me inside my own to feel my baked burnt muscles and the scorch marks on each bone. Through the blisters, little bandages, I try to reach and feel, but my language, it is lost to me, tangled in the twisted steel, and now there's nothing but this sick and queasy spinning of the wheel, and the movement of my hands alone reminds me I'm alive. They build bauble after bauble, stacks of 4 and rows of 5, at a breakneck pace, a nowhere race with no sign I'll arrive. Somewhere my language lost to me unravels at its seams. If I only had a thread or 2, I could translate what this means, but all I've got's the boom, chung, ka-chung, the roar of these machines. In my smudgy, grimy pocket, I keep paper and pen. I hope my words come back so I can use them once again. And the soft caress of pen strokes lead the ink from end to end. I want to lay my hands on sentences along their cursive hips, while the consonants stroke vowels as if they had fingertips, and all the vowels kiss the consonants as if they all had lips. Words in perfect pen strokes on white paper in my mind, let them wind around each image, weave their long organic lines. Free from drill bit drumming, gears percussion as they grind. But words and thoughts don't work like that. Not inside this place. No, words and thoughts like that, they are not welcome in this space. Perfect pen stroke thoughts are slow. They throw off the finger's pace. To speak those words, breathe them, is to watch them vanish there, their bodies breaking, brittle, disappearing on the air. The fine-grained fragments slip away, cracked beyond repair. I've learned my tongue ain't sharp enough to cut it in this world. It can't even make a whisper here. And so I keep it curled behind my teeth, beneath my gums, its muscles tied and twirled. But in keeping perfect silence, I've been listening in between. I hear voices I've not heard before, see things I've never seen, and slowly, softly, beat by beat, I'm learning what they mean. The language is one different from anything I've read. It talks a talk beyond the tactile pages in my head. It is a language within rhythm, a language within rhyme, a language in the gaps of taps all wrapping out in time. And there's a comfort that I find in gaps which calms my panicked ears there. Voices take deep breaths, fill the space within the gears. Between each hiss, beneath each buzz, behind each swooshes swell. There, in the gaps between these sounds, each voice has things to tell. So if I let my fingers blister, stack the balls row by row, let my muscles bake and burn as metal piles grow, and if I keep my tongue tied long enough, a language not quite lost to me, now close enough to feel, I can almost fit my whisper in the rattle of the steel.